Welcome to another episode of the Alamo City Sportscast with Mike Jimenez and Joe Garcia. Make sure to subscribe and hit that like button. Join the discussion as we broadcast live from beautiful West San Antonio. And remember to tip your hosts as it helps the show grow.
Happy Thursday, San Antonio. This is the Alamo City Sportscast. My name is Mike Jimenez. Joe Garcia is back in the studio. We're going to go for about an hour talking sports, pop culture, and nostalgia. Joe, you and I had a big debate yesterday. And by the way, before we get into the debate, first and foremost, we had some technical difficulties. It was not me being late, right, Joe? We had some technical difficulties getting the show going.
Link
But this link wasn't working. But Joe, remember yesterday we had Jeff Garcia on from Locked On Spurs, and we were talking about the Spurs and how they would look without one Jeremy Soehan, who's out with a broken thumb for 2 months. What did I say, Joe? That the wheels were going to fall off and the bottom was going to fall out of this team because they have nobody there to light the fire when it comes to just the energy and the intensity of the opening tip-off. And I said yesterday, it was a 6.5 point spread, bet the farm that the San Antonio Spurs were going to lose by 18 plus. I said it. I posted on Twitter. I have the receipts. Joe, they lost by 27. They were down by 25 in the second quarter. They lost by 27. And I said that this team is a 25-win team. And Joe, you said, I don't want to hear it, man. I don't want to hear it. Do you believe me now, Joe?
No, man. What happened with the Spurs is that the Spurs just got outplayed in the paint. Basically, you look at the stat line at the end of the day, and it tells you that the Spurs were in the race with the Rockets. You know, they actually made more three-pointers than the Rockets, so you can't say that was the problem. You can't say that the Rockets went to the free throw line more than the Spurs. That wasn't the issue. Can't say the rebounding was a great disparity between the two. That wasn't the problem. Points in the paint tells you all you need to know. Basically, the Rockets out-muscled and played bully ball and pushed the Spurs around. And at the end of the day, that's what won the game.
Matt Larimer reaches out to us on our YouTube stream. By the way, you can be part of the show by taking part in our chat. Lots of familiar faces on there already saying, man, Mike already being insufferable this early into the show. Not being insufferable. Jimenez is being right from the get-go. Okay, I am Spurs Nostradamus is who I am. We have Spurs Jesus. I am Spurs Nostradamus. Okay, that's right. Toto Nellis just said right there. He's the one who called me Nostradamus yesterday. I am Spurs Nostradamus. Everyone give Mike a cookie, he says. Bear County Social Apparel says, I need a better mic setup. I do. I brought my microphone, but I forgot the box that it connects to. So I apologize for that. I messed up. That's my mistake right there. But I'll get a little bit closer to the screen. Maybe that helps out a little bit. But Joe, I mean, you take a look at it. The Spurs, it was a bad matchup without Soehan out there. It's a terrible matchup to begin with Soehan out there. But without him, you have all these players for the Rockets just kind of just meander around the paint. Jabari Smith Jr. with 12 points. Dylan Brooks with 10. Alperen Sengun with 16. Fred VanVleet could barely miss a shot. He was 10 for 11, 21 points. Jalen Green goes off for 21 points. It was a well-rounded game by the Rockets. And like you said, there were some bright spots for the Spurs. The bright spots for the Spurs. They shot 39% from three, 14 of 36. I mean, that's not too bad. They shot basically the same percentage as the Rockets from three. But as you said, points in the paint wasn't there for the Spurs, man. The Spurs couldn't defend the interior, and the Spurs going off there and getting another bad shooting night from three from Victor Wembanyama, Joe.
It was just a bad shooting night from Wemby. It was a bad shooting night for the team as a whole, especially during that first quarter, second quarter. They couldn't hit nothing, man. It was Brick City. And it wasn't just, it's Wemby. It was the team as a whole. Nobody could knock down any shots. Didn't matter if they were right underneath the basket. They were 2-3 feet from the rim. Just couldn't connect, man. And they went down early against the Rockets, and that was it. They could never catch up. They made try to make a run during the third, but it still wasn't enough. You know, by that time, the game was already getting away from them.
Right. Well, I mean, and then it happened again, Joe, where there were so many more turnovers for the Spurs compared to their opponent, right? 19 turnovers to 11. We've been seeing that. That's been the moral of the story, just a bad omen for the Spurs, and it happens game after game after game. Victor Wembanyama shooting 1 for 7, 14%. He was 22% going into the game. Can't shoot any worse, right? He did. 14%. And what we're seeing on Spurs Twitter are the rumblings. And I told you this was going to happen, Joe. I told the listeners this was going to happen, that there were going to be some rumblings there of what the hell is going on. And I know people were like, 3 days. It's only 3 games, only 5 games, only 7 games. Like, no, man. It's the totality of who he's been from the get-go. It's been 80 games of Wemby being a bad shooter. Now, can he do things that other players can't do, like get 9 blocks relatively easily, like he did a couple of games ago? Can he? Is he the potential for a quadruple double at some point? Yes, he is. But man, the guy can't shoot threes, man. You know, Joe, something came to mind, Joe, that I don't want everyone to say that I'm being way overboard when it comes to it all. And I'm not saying that Wemby's a bust, because he's going to be a really good player. He's going to be a multi-all-star. But there have been other all-stars out there that just didn't get the shooting touch right for one reason or another. And you know what? I'm not going to do it. Not going to do it, Joe. I'm not going to say the name that I'm thinking of. But if you think you know the name, put it on our YouTube stream. Who do you think I'm thinking of right now? Put it in the chat, and if it comes out, I'll run with it. But I'm not. I'm afraid of saying the name right now, Joe. I don't want it, Wemby.
Well, look at here. This is what I'm going to show you. You're saying, Wemby's this and that. When you compare him to what he did last year, this time of the year, look at what the numbers don't lie, right? The numbers don't lie. Last season, he was at 18.8 points per game. This season, he's at 18.4 points per game. Rebounds, 8.5. This year, 9.8. You look at everything that you're seeing here, even the shooting, for example. 44 of 29. He's 42 of 21, shooting 94%. It's
free throws. Yeah, which is weird because his free throws. So the splits you're seeing there, right? So he shot 44% from the field, 29% from 3 at this point through 8 games. This year he's shooting 21% from 3, but 42% from the field. So he's taken a back seat. He's gone downward when it comes to shooting percentage and effective field goal shooting percentage. His free throws are amazing, though, shooting them in the 90 percentile, not 94%, right?
Gone up,
So I guess the thing is that we're not seeing the leap. And we're not seeing him take over the games. We're not seeing any intensity coming from the guy. They're the alpha of the team. Because we were all told that he's got that dog in him, right? He's got that Kobe fire, that Mamba mentality and all that. Doesn't have it, dude. He doesn't have it. It's just weird. Fernandez saying, if you're thinking it, Jimenez, just say it. Don't be scared now. No, because I'll be tied to that all day long, man. I'll be tied to that all month and all year long. No. Sochan Terrell with an interesting point here. Put his back on there. I thought it was kind of funny. We need to put a shot collar on Wemby and press the button every time he gets the ball at the 3. Get away from the 3. Like, get away from the fence. Get away from the fence line. Get away. He can't shoot a 3 ball, dude. Can't shoot a 3 ball. But, we talk about Kevin Durant as being the thing that they look at when it comes to him. Kevin Durant, by the way, when he first started in the league, was not a very good 3-point shooter at all. We now know him as being one of the best 3-point shooters of all time. Maybe not in the Steph Curry type of percentile, but we do know him as being an all-time great when it comes to 3. Kevin Durant joined the league at age 19, just like Wemby, right? Playing for the Seattle Supersonics. First year, 28%, Joe, from 3. So even Kevin Durant started off slow from 3. Second year for Durant, when they moved to OKC, He shot 42% from three, then settled down in the 36, 38, 39 range for the most part of his career. So I don't want to give up on the idea that Wemby can't be a three-point shooter because the form looks right, man. It's not like Sohan's form from three. Sohan's form from three is all herky-jerky, and it just doesn't look natural. Wemby's looks
Elaine dancing from Seinfeld. That's what the shot looks like.
That's what it looks like, man. That's what it looks like. This is weird. But you see homeboy Wemby go out there and shoot the three. It looks good, dude. The release looks good. The form looks good. The elbow, the direction, all that stuff. He actually shoots better from three on transition, which is weird. You know, on transition when he's pulling up for the three, that's supposed to be the hard shot to take from long distance. He does a pretty good job with that. A decent job, at least, with that. But the spot up three, what's that?
I know what his problem is, and I was watching this yesterday, and I've been watching this since the beginning of the season. Wemby's problem, his biggest issue, like you said, his shot doesn't look broken. It looks good. It's confidence. It's hesitation. I saw that yesterday in the Rockets game. Man, he was at the top of the key. He had a defender coming out to try to put a hand in his face. He basically had a wide open three, not a wide open three, an open jump shot. He defers, waits for his defender to get on him, and then he shoots up an ill-advised jump shot. What are you doing? If you're open, have the confidence to knock down the shot. He hesitates. And again, that's him just being young, I guess, or inexperienced, but you have veterans around you on the court. They need to tell him, if you have an open shot, take it. Why are you waiting? There's nobody around you. Take the shot. I don't understand what the hesitation is. And him playing straight up against the basket, right? He's looking at the basket. Doesn't have his back towards the basket. You have to take every opportunity that you have, you know, and not playing with your back to the basket, not wanting to be aggressive. You're letting little Dylan Brooks guard you and not be able, I can't get around Dylan Brooks. Bro, you're 7'4". Like, come on, man. I mean, somebody needs to take Wemby to the side and say, you know what you need to do? You need to grow a pair of nuts. You need to play some man basketball out there, dude. Because you know what? Everybody's getting tired of just playing, you know, this nonchalant game and you not playing with ganas, dude. That's what it needs to be. At the end of the day, he needs to play with ganas, man. I don't see that out of him right now. I think he might develop that as the year goes on. But right now, he kind of looks a little lost.
Got to take him to the west side, play some west side ball, man. Go to Rosedale Park. Do something where they push, where they tug on the jersey, right? Which is weird, Joe, because he played in France, where they play a tougher brand of basketball compared to the NBA. The NBA, in general, is pretty soft compared to FIBA ball. So it's weird that he's playing soft here. And I hate using that label of being soft, but you can't deny that that's what it is. You know, David Robinson was considered soft by a lot of people back in the day. Probably not a very good description of him. I thought David Robinson was an excellent player. But if David Robinson was soft, what the hell is Wemby? Because Wemby is like 5 levels below whatever D-Rob was back in the day.
Yeah, Wemby playing like he's scared of Dylan Brooks. Bro, you're 7'4", man. You're letting this little brother guard you out there like a wall? Come on, man. I mean, you can shoot right over him. What's he going to do? He's going to have to foul you. I mean, do something. You know, if that's the way he's going to play, I would just sit him on the bench. You know what? We'll put you back in when you feel like playing with some ganas, man. Because right now, it ain't it, dude. Just go sit down. You know what? They need to make some changes in the starting lineup. Sit down Harrison Barnes, man. Make him go and be part of the second unit. Put in Mamu. Because you need more energy. You need a defensive presence. Somebody doing something, you know, like get rebounds. I mean, Harrison Barnes ain't it, dude. Come on, man.
I'm just gonna shut the fuck up, dude. I want to hear Joe Garcia go off for about an hour and 15 minutes.
Harrison Barnes,
you're on fire today. You're on fire.
When they say Harrison Barnes, what's his name? Bench. That's his name. Bench. Second unit. No, man. Put Mamu in. I want to see Mamu and when Wemby go at it. I had enough, bro. This ain't it.
This is the James Pledger from San Antonio Sportscast would refer to this as the therapy couch.
No, man, this ain't
Joe, you're on the therapy couch right now. Go ahead and lie down, kick up your feet. The pillows are nice and soft. Just let it out. Let it out. Let it out. Just say that you agree with me that this is a 25-win team.
They're saying Mamu is not Manu, Joe. The guy doesn't play defense. I'm not saying he's going to play defense. He's going to go out there and get you the ball, man. He's going to make Wemby better. Him and Wemby have good chemistry together. I bet you put Mamu in that starting lineup, you're going to see a better version of Wemby out there on the court. That's what I'm trying to hint at. Right now with Harrison Barnes, you're not getting that, man. This starting five that they had, even if Jeremy Sohan had played with, in this game against Houston, Spurs still would have lost this game. They weren't going to win. And, Spurs fans are acting like they're surprised and they're shocked. Oh, my God, this team isn't winning games. What did you expect this team to do? If you see what happened with the schedule and you're looking at it, did you think the Spurs were going to beat the Rockets every time they face them? Do you think they're going to beat the Thunder? They beat the Jazz. They beat the Timberwolves. They didn't beat the Clippers. Did you think they were going to win? They weren't going to beat the Rockets again yesterday. They're favored. I think they're underdogs right now against the Blazers. I think the Blazers are favored by 4+ points. You think they're going to beat the Blazers? You think they're going to beat the Jazz? They could have a good chance of beating the Jazz again. But then the Kings, the Wizards.
Wait. You want to know if the Spurs are going to win tonight?
Come on, man.
Dude, you don't have to think about it, Joe. All you've got to do is ask Spurs Nostradamus.
No, you're going to say no.
Spurs are winning tonight. The Spurs will win tonight.
They have a homestand, right?
Spurs are favored by 4.5. So Spurs are going to win tonight. Spurs are going to win tonight. Spurs are going to beat the Jazz. They're going to get back to that 5-5 range, and then they're going to lose 6 of the next 7 games after that. They're going to be 8-12 after 20 games. So that's what they're going to be 8-12 after 20 games, and then the good teams are going to start rolling in, and we'll see what happens then. But I think that this team is 25. What's that?
In trouble, Mike, when they go and have the rodeo road trip. Make or break of the season. No, man. The season will be all but over at that point. What's going to be happening is they might win another handful of games here and there. But at the end of the day, I still predicted the team to win 32 to 35 games. I mean,
the number of people on our stream on the chat, because normally I'm in the studio and I can't read them all, real fast because they come in a different. But now that I'm doing this through Streamlabs, I can see everyone coming out saying they're calling Wemby Wimpy. Wimpy ganas.
No tiene ganas. No tiene ganas right now, dude.
Oh, my
God. Guy that goes, nombre, shut up, go Spurs, go. He needs to be nombre, shut up. Wemby no tiene ganas ahorita, dude. You don't have no ganas, man.
Are we gonna pour one out for Wemby's ganas?
I guess so, dude. It's like Coach Pop come back or tell him, man, grow a pair of nuts, bro. You're 7'4". Do something. You're the biggest guy out there on the court. Just shoot over these mofos, man.
You're 7'4". Your nuts are on everybody's chin right now. Go do something. It's like that meme with that guy poking somebody with a stick going, do something. Do something.
It's not just Wemby, dude. I mean, everybody, he's the focal point, right? Because he's the star of the team. But you look at the Spurs team as a whole, and they all need to get poked with that stick and play with some ganas. The coach needs to say, do something, guys. Shoot the ball. You know what? Let's go ahead and do something miraculous here. Something that is forward thinking. Put the ball in the hoop. Quit shooting bricks, man. Make a shot.
I mean, the problem is that there's nobody on the team that is intimidating. I guess Sohan was the only, and it's funny how people say that I'm flip-flopping over Sohan, right? I'm flip-flopping yes or no, maybe a little bit shades of it, right? But when I watch the Spurs play, he's the only one who's intense. I may hate his game, right? I may not like his game early on. I like the fact that they play him better to his strengths now. But you go to the game, Joe, And I have a friend, Anthony Pittman, our good friend, formerly of Maximum Sports, KABB, right?
Love me some Pitt.
He used to hate the fact, what I would say, you could see in their eyes something, right? Like, I remember the last shot ever shot at the Hemisphere Arena when Charles Barkley sank it over David Robinson, top of the key. Suns won the playoff game, and there was no more Hemisphere Arena. I remember before the shot was done, I'm on the cheap seats with my dad, and they're showing the Jumbotron, and you see David Robinson looking like a deer in headlights, and you see Charles Barkley with the fire, the intensity, and I was like, oh my God, we're going to lose this game. He goes out there and just drills it because he had that look in him, right? Whereas Robinson was like, didn't want to be part of the moment.
The look of fear.
He did. He had it. He had a look of fear in them. And like, please miss this shot, as opposed to I'm going to go block your shot, right? That was the end of the Hemisphere Arena. You go to the game.
Brought that in. Barkley's the one that brought the Hemisphere to a close. Remember the shot?
He did.
Robinson? That was it.
20 feet, done, son. He ran through the tunnel. He was out. But you see, you go to Spurs games now, and the game is starting, and you see the opponents come on into the court, and like the Rockets, you Jabari Smith looking all intense, Dylan Brooks looking like the dick that he is. You see Fred VanVleet looking like he wants to kill Pop. You see all of these different people come in, and they just look mean. Like they're ready for battle. Sohan walks onto the court like, I will fight any of you guys here, because Sohan is just a dick, and I like it. We need one, right? May not like his game thoroughly, but at least we got a little bit of spirit there. But you see Chris Paul go out there. All I see is an old man. I see Harrison Barnes go out there. I see him soft. I see Wemby soft as Charmin out there. And then I see Zach Collins. Dude, are you telling me that the only players with balls on this team are Sohan and Zach Collins? That's where we are, man. This is a soft-ass team.
Look at Midtown.
Those are with the balls. Who am I then? What am I? The CB?
That's what this team is lacking this year out of the gate, man. They're not playing with no Ganas except for Sohan, man. He's the only enforcer that they have out there. This rest of the team, man, they playing soft as hell, man. And I mean, what did Spurs fans think? You're kind of running it back with two vets. Yes, they're playing better. You can tell that they're playing better, but their record isn't indicative of what Spurs fans had hoped. But if you look at the schedule, like I was telling you at the beginning of the year, the Spurs are right about where you thought they were going to be if you're a realistic Spurs fan. And it's not like, oh my God, I'm so surprised that this is happening. This is what was going to happen. It's not like I'm surprised that it's happening. No, they're playing better, but they're still lacking that intensity. I think if there is a word for it, Mike, it's intensity. They need to up their intensity because the other teams are outplaying them, out hustling them. Looks like they get to the ball quicker. They're snagging the rebounds away from them. The Spurs kind of look like a deer in headlights at time, lost, don't know where to go. There's no fluidity to the offense. Right now, this is a team in flux. They haven't even found their chemistry. They're looking for answers right now. And Julian Champagnie, after the game, I think it was Jeff Garcia that put it out, and he's like, well, hopefully we'll play better next game. No, mother freaker, you are going to play better. And then he's like, no, we're going to play better next game. You said hopefully, dude, and then you changed it to, no, we're going to play better. You see, I mean, come on, man. Right there, it tells you all you need to know, dude. No guns.
Yeah, Julian Champagnie so far this year shooting 37% from three. He was 3 of 6 yesterday from 3, 5 of 9 for the game, 13 points in 28 minutes. Harrison Barnes only had 2 points. Wemby had 15 points, 6 rebounds, 0 assists. I believe this was his first game ever without having an assist, if I read that correctly on ESPN today. Chris Paul with 10 points and 4 assists. Stephon Castle got his first start, just 5 points and 2 rebounds. 2 of 8 shooting, missed 4 of his 5 3-point attempts. Mamu knocked down 2 3-pointers. He was 4 of 5 shooting, 10 points in 15 minutes. Zach Collins, bully ball out there. Zach Collins, intense, yes. But the thing is, Joe, is that I look at this team, and can we all just like look around and go, They need to be intense because they do not. Dude, I just saw that comment there from Big Sean from Big Sean PD, whatever his name is. Where's that one at? You just went through it a couple seconds ago. Big Sean PD.
Okay.
Saying lacking intensity and talent. That's exactly, Sean, where I was going. That's exactly where I was going. You need to have the intensity. Why, Joe? Because they don't have the talent. We have a 39-year-old point guard. Dude, so many Spurs fans, and remember, y'all got pissed off at me, and then you said, oh, you flip-flop, because I said it was a punt of a season when you get Chris Paul? Remember people in my DMs who come out and go, that guy's washed. No shit. He's 39 years old. Of course he's washed. There's been no point guard in history who has played 20 seasons as a point guard ever. He's the first. Of course he's washed. No pop either. Why? Shouldn't have had a 75-year-old head coach either.
Thing is, too, the Spurs don't even have a full squad right now either, right? They don't have, Spurs fans are like, well, they don't have their full squad. I get that. They don't have a healthy Sohan. He's out right now. Don't know when he's going to return. It's probably going to be 6 to 8 weeks, somewhere around there, right? Then the rehab and whatnot. Probably won't be back till the end of December, maybe beginning of January, realistically. Right. Same thing with Vassell. Vassell, the Spurs insider that everybody likes to go ahead and look at, the biggest charlatan and fraud out there that I know. Oh, he's coming back at the Minnesota game. Vassell's not coming back then. You'll be lucky if he comes back at the end of November. Vassell, you put him on this team, you put Sohan, you get everybody back healthy, and this team is what? 32 games maybe they can win. They're going to give you what they're giving you right now. They're going to play a little better, but it's not going to translate into wins. And you can see again that there's no ganas, dude. They don't play with intensity. Sometimes when they feel like playing defense, like the full 48 minutes, okay, hey, you might win this one, and they win a couple games, but it's not consistent. That's the biggest gripe I think Spurs fans have right now is that right out of the gate, this team is very inconsistent, and they thought they were going to be better because they have those veterans out there on the court, and that's not the case.
I know it's only 8 games in, Joe, and we're 3-5, and the Spurs will be 5-5 after 10 games. Okay, we got Portland, we've got Utah.
Maybe.
Now we will be. Spurs Nostradamus has spoken. We will be 5-5 after 10 games. And then we'll be 8-12, and then the bottom will fall out. I look at it this way, Joe. You've got to blow up this entire team.
No,
you got to blow it all up, man. You got to keep Wemby and Sohan and Castle and everybody else. Just get rid of, dude. Just get rid of. But do you know why the Spurs can't do that? It's because the person who put this team together is still there. In R.C. Buford and Brian Wright and all of those guys. And the same coach who coached this crappy-ass team, Greg Popovich, still hanging around the building. Right? Pop missed his second game in a row, out indefinitely. I don't know how long that's going to be. I don't know. Have you heard any rumors, Joe, about that?
No, I mean, when they say indefinitely, you just got to read between the lines, man. That means that he ain't going to be back for some time. That's their way of saying he ain't coming back for a little bit. It might be who knows, a month, 2 months, 3 months. They're
so everyone said. So Big Sean reaches out to us saying, Portland ain't no cakewalk. Just warning you. I know, you're right. You're right. I mean, Dame Lillard's not walking through that door, but they've got a lot of young players, a lot of young talent on that team. So I guess it's not a cakewalk, but they are 3-5. They recently picked up Danny Avdija, who was typically with the Washington Wizards for a good while there. They have DeAndre Ayton on the team. They have Donovan Clingan, the rookie. Jeremy Grant, who's a very good – Jeremy Grant's kind of like their Harrison Barnes. Scoot Henderson, who was one of the top picks in the draft a couple of years ago. They've got some pretty decent Anthony Simons. They've got the Matisse Thybulle. They've got some talent. Jabari Walker, Robert Williams the second. They got him from Boston. They've got some talent there. But I still think that the Spurs will win because I think that there's not enough talent to stop Wemby in this particular game. We have a super chat from Midtown, Texas, $1.99. Thank you for the support there. Asking the question, Spurs, Nostradamus, who wins tonight? I got to do it like Johnny Carson back in the day when he was the Swami. Was that what he was? When he would like put the card to his head and go, and then Chris Berman later on SportsCenter would make fun of it. I'm going to say Spurs win tonight by 7. I'll even give out a score, 102-95.
And look at that, Portland. Big Sean PD says Portland is more talented than us as a whole.
Sam Flynn is asking the question, have there been any updates on Pop aside from what Shams has said? Lack of transparency says Pop ain't coming back. So, I insinuated with Jeff Garcia from Locked On Spurs and Kent's 5 yesterday, saying, he has his sources. I'm sure that he knows people in the building. And I'm sure that Jeff has an idea of what's going on. I know what I've been told by people who are supposedly in the know. It's hearsay. I don't want to get into it. If you're to ask me the question, is it big enough to never come back to the court? The answer is sort of. Sort of. And apparently, from what I've been told, that this wasn't the first time something like this has happened to him. So, for what that's worth, okay? I don't think it's dangerous enough where he shouldn't come back, that he couldn't come back. It's not one of those things, from what I've been told what it is, it's not one of those things where it's inconceivable that he doesn't come back. Like, can I see him on the court in December? Yes. Can I see him on the court in January, February, March? Yes. But if it was used as an excuse to simply retire or say, I'm just going to play this out my final year, I can see that. I can see that. People say Michael Kappen. Sorry, I've had 2 people come at me with what they heard, what it was, and they agreed with each other. So it is what it is. JHSBC says Mike was going to say that Wemby was giving the Anthony Bennett, Kwame Brown vibes. No, I wasn't going to go that far. The person that I was going to say was an all-star. Yeah. Tony Nala says, we don't know anything about Pop. Only Spurs Nostradamus knows. I foretold, Joe. Remember this, Joe? A few months ago, I was like, you know why you don't build around a 75-year-old? Health issues. Remember why I said that? Can't have a 5-year plan for somebody who's destined to have a health issue. Name somebody who's 75, 76 years old who hasn't gone down with something.
Yeah.
It just is what it is, man.
I mean, I just think anybody that, right now, it's just all speculation. I think the biggest thing at the end of the day is everybody hopes Coach Pop gets better, and he comes back and coaches a team. Great. If he doesn't, well, the Spurs already said he's going to be out indefinitely. So just act like he's not coming back for a while,
Right. So people are asking us on the stream here for me to say what I've learned.
No, don't do it.
I'm not, because I could be wrong.
Exactly.
And if I'm wrong, you can't live down that take. You can't live down that. Okay. But I'm just saying that if it is what I've been told it is, he can come back. But the thing is that it's also a legit excuse to not come back. That's it. Okay. On a scale of 1 through 10, how bad was it? It wasn't a 10. I mean, it wasn't a 1. It was somewhere in the middle, So just all depends, man. Just all depends. Let's give some love to Jeff Garcia from Locked On Spurs and Ken's 5, who's providing us that daily content when it comes to the Spurs. And some of that content, though, man, we're talking about like all these different players and all these injuries, and he's going to have a doctor on pretty soon talking about Soehan's thumb fracture and how long it's going to take for him to come back. Let's show some love to Jeff Garcia from Locked On Spurs.
Locked On Spurs is your daily Spurs podcast, hosted by Jeff Garcia, the lead Spurs writer for Ken's 5 San Antonio. Jeff has a healthy plethora of guests all the time on the Locked On Spurs podcast. You can also follow Jeff on Threads at Jeff G Kens 5 SA. You can also follow Jeff on Twitter at Jeff G Spurs Zone. So make sure you go ahead and give Jeff a follow not only on Threads and Twitter, but also on YouTube at youtube.com/@LockedOnSpurs. This is where you're going to be able to find the replay of the Locked On Spurs podcast. Make sure to like, subscribe, and share.
Yeah, subscribe at Jeff G Spurs Zone on Twitter and Threads. He has articles about last night's loss to the Rockets, 127-100. He also has this stat that Yahoo Sports brought up, the fact that Victor Wembanyama has more blocks this season than 3 teams in the NBA. More than the Bulls, more than the Sixers, more than the Knicks. 3.9 blocks per game. You can kind of sniff and smell the idea that Wemby might actually be Defensive Player of the Year this year. Is he going to be an all-star? Doesn't deserve it. Not yet. Not yet. We've got some time to go. Wemby didn't get going last season until when, Joe? January, when he stuffed Chet Holmgren in there at the Frost Bank Center?
Yeah, it was
right.
February. Yeah, we started getting going real good.
Yeah, somewhere mid-January. So hopefully he starts turning it around. But we're all kidding ourselves if we think that he's playing like an all-star. We just are. Brennan Alice says Mike should have a blog called Spurs Nostradamus so we can see if he's truly a Spurs fortune teller. You know, Joe, I mean, I said on the show the other day that I have a good batting average. I don't get everything right. No one does. I'm not going to be that much of a narcissist to think that I get everything right, Joe. But, Joe, you've known me for a while.
Yeah.
You know, I get more right than wrong. I do.
I like Hanover's Fist comment. MJ sits in 200 section, but he knows.
Dude, I sit in 200 to start, but the last time I got down to section 26. So
yeah.
It is what it is. That's why I can see the intensity, Joe. That's why I can see Jabari Smith Jr. Walk through the face of Sohan while Sohan was trying to bend down to wait for the free throw attempt to be made. Jabari Smith Jr. just walked straight into his face and pissed off Sohan.
And look at that. Spurs Nostradamus. He's saying Spurs Nostradamus, Midtown Texas is. Should I go to the game tonight?
Hey, if you're going to go for a cheap game, man, Portland's one of those games where there's cheap tickets. I don't see why not. Sam Salinas on our YouTube stream asked the question, will someone tell Wemby that the season starts in late October, not Christmas? Can't go digging out of a hole because he decides to finally bring it in the second half.
Sean Quintero having a watch party at Mike's tonight.
The house is free. I'm not getting back into town until about 7 p.m. tonight, man. I got things. What's that?
Is Cody and still good or no?
Oh, they're outside.
Yeah.
They're outside. I fed them. I'm only gone for 24 hours. Plus, my daughter was there this morning, and we'll be there this afternoon.
Cody and Duncan aren't getting along.
They don't, man. And I might have to get rid of both dogs. I travel too much, Joe, to take care of those dogs, and I feel bad. I really do. They need more love than I'm able to give them at this point. You know, it was cool to have them when I had when I was married and had kids and all that stuff. There was several people in the house, and they could play with and all that stuff. But man, I got too much going on. I got refereeing. I've got my job, got a girlfriend, got all sorts of things going on. It just makes it a little bit more difficult. Then I got to go move my daughter to wherever she's moving to and all that stuff. So it's a little bit difficult right now. So Sean Quintero, your friend who wants a husky, let me know if they're still interested. We might be able to make something like that happen. Joe, I know we talk a lot about the Spurs. We got to talk about the standings right now because last night I was so pissed off. We're trying to figure out where the Spurs are going to draft right now. As it stands, according to Tankathon right now, the Spurs would have 3 first-round draft picks. So we have 2 guaranteed, the potential for 4 in the 2025 NBA draft, but we'd have 3 guaranteed, none of them in the top 7 projected right now.
Yeah.
We'd have 2 in the teens, and we'd have 1 around 8. And the reason is Atlanta got a win yesterday. Charlotte got a win yesterday, though, so that kind of helps out because that's top 14 protected. And if LaMelo Ball can get that team going, but Joe, how disappointed would you be, man, if the draft comes and we have all this draft capital, but it's all picks number 12 and 18 and 23? That would just piss me off, Joe.
Oh, piss everybody off, but at the end of the day, are the Spurs going to wind up making those picks for themselves or for somebody else?
Right. Dude, by the way, right now, if the season ended right now and everything went to form, the number 1 overall pick would belong to the Milwaukee Bucks, so they have the worst record in the league. Guess what? They don't even own their draft pick. It would go to the New Orleans Pelicans. Right now, the Spurs, because of their 3-5 record, would be drafting number 9, estimated. The Chicago pick would convey at 15, and the Atlanta pick would convey at 18. We need somebody to go out there and just blow out the ACLs of Trae Young. Let's just make it so. Shouldn't say that, but it just is what it is. Joe, we got some football tonight.
That we do.
Week 10. This is kind of the top part of the season where things are getting a little bit easier to kind of digest. You can see who the real good teams are, who the bad teams are. This is where teams like my New Orleans Saints begin to tank. Tonight, Bengals, Ravens. Bengals on the road, but are a better road team than home team. Ravens, trying to keep pace, trying to be a 2 or 3 seed. This could be make or break for the Bengals tonight. Joe, who you got tonight?
Oh, man, I got Cincy, dude. I think the Bengals are going to come out and they're going to get the dub, man.
They can't make the playoffs if they go 4-6, man. This is a playoff game for them.
It is. It's both teams need a win, so I'm expecting that both teams are going to come out, and that defense, man, is going to be playing at a high level. I want to see some hard hits. I want to see them put some pressure on the quarterbacks and make them scramble and have to extend plays for, a couple yards. I think it's going to be a good defensive game. Might not translate into a high scoring game, but I think it's going to be a good defensive stance.
So this weekend, you have the some games going on. The Cowboy fans need to be fans of the Carolina Panthers because they're playing the Toilet Bowl this weekend between the Carolina Panthers and the New York Giants. Both teams are 2-7. That's a team where both teams need to lose, right? So you're hoping that it's going to be like a 4-2 score, right? Bet the under. There'll be no scoring in that game. Other games, you got Patriots against the Bears. Bears favored by 6.5 points. The Giants are favored by 6.5 over Carolina on the road. Buffalo favored by 4 over Indy. Chiefs, 8-point favorites to go 9-0, taking on the feisty Broncos. Atlanta, 4-point favorites over the Saints. Saints are going to roll over and die by 20, man. Don't bet on the Saints this weekend. Niners, Buccaneers. Dude, talk about 2 underachieving teams. We thought that both of those teams would make the playoffs, and now it looks like neither of them are going to make the playoffs. Yeah. Bucks coming in at 4-5. They lose that game, they drop to 4-6. Niners lose this game, they go to 4-5. Craziness going on there. Steelers and Commanders, 6-2 versus 7-2. You got the Jaguars hosting the Vikings, Titans and Chargers, Jets, Cardinals. Now the Texans. Then you have Monday Night Football. You have the Dolphins and Rams. Before we go to the Cowboy game, let's talk about the Texans game on Sunday Night Football against the Lions. Lions coming in, Joe, are the Vegas book odd makers disrespecting the Texans by making the Lions a 3.5-point favorite at NRG in Houston. Disrespect, Joe?
I think it's like you were saying, man. Maybe this Texans team isn't as good as people thought.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, dude. The Lions are the best team in the NFL right now. And I don't even think it's close. I know they're not 8-0. I know they had that one loss early in the season. But the last 3, 4, 5 weeks, dude, they have just been balling out, and they were buyers at the trade deadline. This is a team that legitimately is going all in. Like when you see Jerry Jones say all in, this is an all-in team, Joe. Texans might be getting Nico Collins back from injured reserve. He's been at practice. Nico Collins, when he went down with an injury, was the leading wide receiver in all of the NFL after 3.5 games. He was on track to have over 2,000 receiving yards. He is C.J. Stroud's number one target. If Nico Collins plays, I think the Texans have a good chance of winning. If he doesn't, I'm going to go with the Lions. That's going to be my deciding factor when it comes to it all. Joe Mixon looking pretty good since returning from injury. Cowboys, Eagles. Eagles at 6-2. Cowboys at 3-5. You mentioned it yesterday, Joe, that leapfrog that Saquon Barkley did in the last game. The great thing about that was not the video that Fox Sports had of the leap. It was from the stands and from like the sidelines and the reaction of the teammates. So for those of you who don't know, Saquon Barkley was passed the ball. And Saquon Barkley, one of the freakiest athletes in all of the NFL, catches the ball, goes down about 6 or 7 yards, and it looks like he's going to get stood up, and there's a guy that's going to come and tackle him. He has his back to him, and he jumped. You know how you see players leap over the defender? Like you leap over the linebacker, but you're moving forward. He did it going backwards. And the defender went through his legs. He lands on his feet, turns around, gets 3 more yards. Very impressive. But the Eagles going into Jerry World, the Cowboys haven't even won a game there in Dallas this year, have they?
No, man, they ain't going to win this one either. They're going to get blown out the water, dude. It's going to be over early.
Philly favored by 7. Cooper Rush is going to be under center for the Cowboys, taking the place of Dak Prescott, who injured his hamstring. I'm kind of concerned. Why haven't the Cowboys put him on IR yet? You put him on IR, you miss 4 games. They haven't done it yet.
No, Jerry.
And reports on
false hope.
Yeah, reports on ESPN saying that Dak's hamstring was partially removed off the bone.
The meat off the bone, dude. It came off the bone. Ouch.
That just sounds bad, Joe. Cooper Rush under center. Wouldn't that be funny, Joe? Wouldn't that be funny if Cooper Rush leads this team to a victory? Just Cowboy fans will lose their mind. It's almost like they need to lose this game because if they start winning with Cooper Rush at quarterback, then everything goes inside out.
No, they need a high draft pick, man. Just tank.
Just tank, baby.
Just tank, man. You're a Cowboy fan. You're just like, just tank the season, man. I mean, what you got to lose at this point? If you somehow miraculously win out and you make the wild card, you know what's going to happen. You're one and done, dude. You're going home, especially if it's at home and they're playing at home. You know, come on, dude. It's over.
All right, Joe. Joe, you stream. You want to talk some entertainment news in a minute? Let's give some love to MCS. I see you're wearing their gear, and let's talk some entertainment on the other side.
Yeah. MCS General Contracting, more than 30 years of combined experience in concrete placement. They are the best in the business. Honest pricing, high quality work. They get going on house foundations, driveways, concrete patio decks. If you want to extend the deck, extend the driveway. If you're a business and you need to put together a slab, a parking lot, or other concrete placement services or sidewalks, reach out to MCS General Contracting at 210-774-9155. They're confident in their skills, so give Chris Leha over at MCS General Contracting a call at 210-774-9155. And thank you for being a sponsor of this show. And there we go.
Did you go through, Joe?
Yep. We went ahead and played that video.
Okay, cool. Very nice. On my end, it didn't come out correctly, but either way, I'm sure it's good. MCS General Contracting, they power our sports chat over here. Chat powered by MCS General Contracting. Giving them a call at 210-774-9155, 774-9155. You need that diamond hard concrete, basketball courts, pickleball courts, dude, pools. Looking at my girlfriend's swimming pool right now, dude. It's nice. It's nice. But it's chilly out here, dude.
Yeah, you gotta have to.
The weather's now. Do you finally believe the fall's here? Do you finally believe it? The time has changed. We're in November.
No, I want it to be like 40 degrees, and I go outside and I go, when you can see your breath. You know, That's like, all right. It's
Yeah.
fine
Oh,
here.
that's winter.
Yeah.
I need to mow the yard one last time, Joe. Just one last time, and I think I'm
I
done
don't
for the
believe you
spring.
mowed the lawn, dude. I don't believe you mowed the lawn.
I love mowing the yard, baby.
Oh, man.
Love it. Joe, what you streaming these days on YouTube or Netflix or Hulu?
Tom, pretty much just sports, dude. That's all I got time for. It's either work or sports. Even when I'm working, I'm watching sports, man. I'm watching something.
So I told the girlfriend, she was like asking me like wanting to stream something. She's really into like cartel stuff, right?
Yeah.
And I was telling her about the show that came out a couple of years ago on Amazon Prime called 000. I don't know if you ever saw it. That's one of the best miniseries I've ever seen in my entire life. I thought it was going to be like this ongoing thing where it has like season 2, 3, 4. It was just a miniseries, man. It was like a 6-episode thing. It was so damn good, dude. Dude, the cinematography on that was amazing. It's in French, it's in Spanish, and it's in English. A little bit of everything. Badass.
What's it called?
It's called 000. Apparently, that's code for cocaine.
Okay.
Dude, the Mexico scenes were freaking brutal, dude. It was good times, man. Good times. So when does Gladiator 2 come out? Because we're in November now, right? It's supposed to be sometime in November.
Yeah.
Because I'm going to be there the first day. Joe, I need for you to get us those passes, those sneak peek passes.
Yeah, I don't know if they're going to have one for this one. It comes out on the 22nd of November. So 22nd of November is when Gladiator 2 comes out.
When's that again?
November the 22nd.
Okay, cool. Seth reaches out and says, this weekend is Spinach Fest in Crystal City, and they're expecting rain. What is Spinach Fest, Joe? Is it Popeye themed?
Oh, he goes, it's just a carnival. I guess it's like a little fiesta that they have out there.
Dude, the one that I like is small towny is Petite Strawberry Festival.
Yeah, what's it called? Oh, yeah, Petite. And then they have the Helotes, what's it called? The Carnival.
Carnival. The Strawberry Festival is pretty good, man. It's not bad. I like going there, but you got to get there before it opens, because if you try to get there at 11 a.m., try to sleep in, ain't going to happen, dude. That line stretches on for days.
You're talking about 000 and that being a code name for cocaine. And over fist says, don't ever do the pink coke. Trust me, bro. Oh, man. But you know what else is coming up here? I just saw they were talking about it on the news yesterday. Worst Fest is coming up, man. So you want to
New Braunfels, right?
Yeah, if you want to get you some German beer and some German food there you go, man. Make your way out to Worst Fest. That might be something you do, Mike.
Well, okay. So first of all, Worst Fest, that's a beer and sausage, right? That's basically what that is, right? And German music. Is it weird that I think it was Midtown or somebody was making reference, trying to say that I slurp down or I eat hot dogs in one bite or whatever? Is it weird that I don't like hot dogs, Joe? Like, I honestly swear to you, I can't stand hot dogs. I might have one hot dog a year, just one a year. And it's usually at a missions game. Like family barbecues, they have hot dogs. I ain't touching that crap. I ain't touching it.
You're not going to be like my friend.
What's that?
Spurs game. And he's out there, and we're at the Spurs game, and he's hungry as hell. And we got in there early because I have season tickets. And he takes a breath, and he looks at me, and he goes, oh, man, huele a wiener, vato? I'm like, bro, like, what are you talking about, man? He goes, huele a wiener, because he could smell the hot dogs.
You could smell it, yeah.
He was hungry, man. He wanted a hot dog. I'm like,
wieners and egg. The wieners and egg tacos, dude, gross, dude. I go to this one restaurant.
Come on, say it.
It's too ethnic. On the west side, Tacos Martinez on the west side of West Commerce, which is legit. It's kind of like Mexican Luby's. They have it all there. You stand in line and you go with a tray. You want to have that. It's the most unsanitary place I've ever been to in my life, but I love it. They have a big old vat there of wieners and egg, and they Yeah,
There you go, Mike.
¿Quieres wieners con huevo? No.
Yes, see.
I'll take that
Valentina
over
hot
there.
sauce.
And I'm over here trying to figure out how to say bacon in Spanish.
Tejano is too Mexican. Hot dogs are too American. What the hell do you want, Mike? Sean? Your buddy Sean? Oh, and I saw that he's saying, Joe, Star Wars episodes 10 and 12s are in the works. I don't know how good they're going to be, especially if they're bringing back, what's her name? Daisy Ridley or whatever, to play Rey again. I'm like, no, bro, this ain't it, man. I'm done with the new Star Wars. It's been total garbage, bro.
Midtown saying Tacos Martinez is good. You know what else is good about it? That it's right next to the Mexican bakery that's right next to it. They share a parking lot.
Yeah.
Get your tacos, go over there, I get chocolate donut. When you go to the Mexican bakeries, Joe, like if you go to the ones down Culebra Road, right? You go to those, what do you get? Like what is your go-to at the bakery?
I'd probably get that big jelly donut, the big one that has a red jelly in the middle. Frosted.
Oh yeah.
Or a concha. The conchas are always good. I like the yellow concha.
The yellow concha. Okay. I like the brown and white concha. Like either one of them. I'm a sucker for a chocolate donut. The Mexican chocolate donut. Dude, you line me up a Krispy Kreme, a Shipley's donut, a Delightful donut, and the Mexican donut from the HEB one there. Then you get the one from the Mexican bakery, dude. Give me the Mexican bakery one all day, every day, dude. All day, every day. And they add it off of their head. They're like, that'll be $9.15. They couldn't add up all that crap, dude. I'm sorry. I got like 30 bags worth of shit. You're telling me that you did all the math in your head. I'm not buying any of that, dude. But the cinnamon twist, Joe. That's where it's at. The cinnamon twist. And then what is the piña empanada? That's good stuff, dude. The fresa empanada.
Yes. Oh man. You know what we could talk about too, right here, that I was seeing earlier today. Something that I was just keeping an eye on. So I want to show this to you. And you tell me what you think of it. So here you go. Look at what it says.
Okay.
MVP ladder right now. Look who's at the top of the list. And of course, this is by FanDuel. You know, they have Josh Allen, Patrick Mahomes, Lamar Jackson, Jared Goff, and Jaden Williams. You know, it's like 1, 2, 3, 4. That's your top 5 right there. Then you have Joe Burrow, his stock is starting to rise. Jalen Hurts, Kyler Murray, Kirk Cousins, and Derrick Henry, which the Cowboys could have had, but they didn't want him.
Okay, so if I had to pick who I think is going to win the MVP, Joe, the MVP typically goes to the best player, the best quarterback, or the quarterback of the best team. That's what the MVP typically is, right? Give me some money on Jared Goff. We saw what Michael Parsons said about Jared Goff the other day on his podcast. He was just beyond singing the praises of Jared Goff. He goes, that guy's a badass. That guy can throw. That guy is just so in control. Give me some Jared Goff over Josh Allen, Patrick Mahomes, and Lamar Jackson. Is he as talented as they are? No, but he's going to have a team, whether they're going to go into Houston and win this weekend. They're going to go to, 9-1? You're going to tell me that a Jared Goff-led team that goes 14-3 isn't going to win the MVP? No, man, that's the dude. That's the guy. Now, if the Chiefs go undefeated, you have to give it to Mahomes, right? Yeah. But they're not going to go undefeated. So if they lose a game or two, you got to give it to Jared Goff, in my opinion.
You think so?
Jaden Daniels is a great story, man. He's a great story, but they're a predominantly run-first team. And I think that Derrick Henry is going to take votes away from Lamar Jackson. And then, at some point, don't you think that Josh Allen's going to do what Josh Allen does? He's got 9 games without having a bunch of turnovers.
Yeah.
That guy's a turnover machine. Are you telling me that he just suddenly figured it out and doesn't get turnovers? I'm not sure. Updated Heisman odds, according to FanDuel, at plus 185. You get Travis Hunter and Cam Ward. Can you imagine how proud UIW would be if Cam Ward won the Heisman Trophy? Cam Ward led Incarnate Word to the playoffs before he got into the transfer portal and made his way over to Miami. Oregon. Dylan Gabriel. Ashton Genty has dropped down to 5-1 odds. Gabriel at 3.5-1 odds. And then you have the quarterback there of Indiana, Curtis Rourke. No Texas Longhorns there, baby. None.
No Quinn Ewers. They ain't on there, man.
Yeah, he was like the odds-on favorite for a good while there.
Yeah. Well.
I think that Cam Ward getting it would be a big deal. I mean, Miami, they're undefeated. I mean, Travis Hunter is a great story because he plays both sides of the ball. But if Miami goes undefeated and makes the playoffs, or goes 11-1, makes the playoffs, you got to give it to Cam Ward, even though the other guy plays multiple positions. Because if Colorado's going 6-5, 7-4, who cares? Absolutely, who cares? Handle the Fist says HEB gas station tacos, not bad.
Not bad, dude.
Not had the gas station ones, but have you ever gone to Flamin' Bird? If you know, you know, Joe.
I like the chicken there from the Flamin' Bird, and the beans are good there. They're the borracho beans.
They are. It is good. The mashed potatoes, though, Joe, legit. They are buttery. I go to the Flamin' Bird by my house on Petranco and 1604.
Yeah.
I leave the podcast and I go over there at least once a week, and I get a stuffed baked potato with the shredded chicken or the beef fajita on top, dude, with a drink. $7, dude. It's big ass baked potato with stuff with meat, and sour cream and bacon and butter and all that stuff. Oh my god, dude. Flamin' Bird is legit, dude.
I'm gonna ask you a question right here, man. Look at this. Best one-loss team so far, man. Who do you got, Mike?
Oh, pick my poison there.
Yeah, pick your poison, man. Who do you got?
Best one-loss team has got to be, and I hate to say it, it's probably Georgia. I'd say Georgia won. I'd say Georgia, Texas, and then don't laugh at me, SMU.
SMU, the Ponies?
The Ponies, dog, man. They light it up, baby. They're going to make the playoffs. They light it up. I want to see SMU take on, like, Notre Dame in the playoffs.
The Ponies, man. I can't believe you're talking about the Ponies.
It's been a long time since the death penalty, and Eric Dickerson, man, that decimated that team. It killed that team. That was in the late 80s, right? Mid-80s. It's been like 35 years since they've been relevant. 40 years since it's been relevant.
Tim Gonzalez says Cam Ward is playing out of his mind right now.
Tex-Mex Frank, if you go to a Mexican restaurant and you see an Aztec and his lady calendar, hear very ethnic conjunto played, and a waitress calls you mijo, you're at the right spot. I'm going to add to that, if the building has chipped orange paint on the outside exterior. Spurs back in action tonight against the Portland Trailblazers, the second part of a back-to-back. Spurs lost by 27 points. We heard that Pop was going to miss the game against the Rockets. We're not hearing anything yet about Pop coming back. How long is Pop out, Joe? Indefinitely. It kind of reminds me of back in the day when Kawhi Leonard was saying indubitably.
Indubitably. Hey,
I'm going to say it that way when they ask how long is Pop out. Indefinitely.
I was going to show you this. I don't know if you saw this or not, but I thought this was interesting. Saquon was saying that he got drug tested immediately after his reverse hurdle. Like, that's crazy, man. They saw him do that. They're like, go test him now, you know?
Yeah.
I thought that
the NFL is known for doing that. Like, if something seems supernatural, they're known for doing that. Who was the one player who did the one-handed catch last weekend? There was a touchdown. It was either the last week or the weekend before that. This one player, I want to say it was with the Giants, just snagged it in the air like Odell Beckham Jr. did back in the day. No word on homeboy Popovich, whether he's coming back or not. As long as today, anyway.
Yeah, no, they haven't said nothing. They're not going to say anything. The Spurs mafia doesn't let anything get out that they don't want out, you know? So
you remember we were talking about Tom Worsborn of MySA?
Yeah.
Does a fantastic job. He's been covering the the San Antonio Sports for 40 years, man. Remember the whole thing about Pop being out?
That wasn't that
Hasn't reported anything since about Pop.
because nobody really knows, man. I mean, that's the thing. I mean, you'll hear hearsay, but nobody knows for sure. Even Jeff. I just saw
Jeff McDonald. What's that again?
No, I was making fun because I just saw Jeff Garcia because Elias is putting us all, or tagging us all in the Star Wars news that episodes 10 and 12 are reportedly in the works. And Jeff's response is nothing but Z's. He's like boring. You don't care. Jeff hates
He's off the ride, dude.
Oh yeah, man. Jeff hates the new trilogy. He is not a fan. He'll go on record and tell you how much he hates it.
Jeff McDonald's of San Antonio Express News saying we've got the NBA debut of Riley Minix incoming. Remember Riley Minix? A lot of Spurs fans were all about Riley Minix during the preseason. I'm gonna look that up right now. Riley Minix.
Sean Elliott was saying on the telecast yesterday, he's like, Riley Minix is a heck of a shooter, man. I'm like, yeah, but he don't get no run. Casualty of minutes to go around.
Dude, I think that'd be pretty badass. Tim Gonzalez says ESPN gets more information than the local media. They know more. It's true. It's true.
Look, Jeff in here. I told you. They messed up Star Wars, Joe. I'm not going to lie with you, Jeff. I'm right there with you, man.
Joe, when are we going to do Transformers 86? When are we going to do that as a movie review? Do I need to go back and do a review anytime soon?
We're going to have to watch that one in a theater or something, man. We're just talking with Jeff about that.
Do you know what I was watching the other day that I hadn't seen in a while? It had been like a few months. But every time I watch it, I have to watch it. It's like one of those movies where if you stumble upon it or you see it streaming, you got to keep watching it. Dude, I cannot tell you how much I love the movie True Lies.
No.
True Lies is one of my favorite movies, and I had no idea that it's one of my favorite movies. What a great movie.
I just like the lines from that movie. And, Tom Arnold telling Arnold Schwarzenegger, she took everything. She even took the ice trays.
Who the hell does that?
She took
Tia Carrere was a nugget in that whole show, dude.
Yeah.
Tia Carrere, that was wrong. She had a moment there, man, between True Lies and Wayne's World.
Wayne's World, yeah.
Tia Carrere had that one 2-year moment.
Yeah, man, that was a good film. And then what did they have? The great Bill Paxton. He was in there. Easy car.
He was salesman. Car salesman. Yeah. He was also a waiter who pisses himself towards the end.
They're like, oh man, look at this guy. Get out of here. And they just
Who was a bigger nugget? Who was a bigger nugget in that movie? Tia Carrere or Jamie Lee Curtis?
Oh man, Jamie Lee, dude. She had it going on, man.
I don't know, man.
Like that underneath, she took off the clothes and put on the dress. Like,
didn't know she had that much cake.
Yeah, man. It's like, damn. Even she made her husband drop the tape recorder. Remember?
That's funny, dude.
Oh,
Shamsalitas, Tia Carrere, not to be confused with who, Mike?
God.
Jesus, you guys are awful.
Damn, they're trying to bait you, Mike. Does Mike know?
If you know, you know.
Yeah,
Sis saying his wife had never seen The Sixth Sense, but she knew Bruce Willis was a ghost due to 50 First Dates.
Jeez.
That's funny. I showed my daughter, Gabby, when she was in high school, The Sixth Sense. And we're watching it at my house, and it gets to the scene, the reveal at the end of The Sixth Sense. And I start videotaping it, on my phone. And my daughter just looks at me and goes, bruh. she was floored by it all. Oh, that's funny.
Your
dude.
daughter? He was watching it?
That's my daughter. She had never seen it before.
She didn't know the whole time what was actually happening.
Yeah. So how Sith says that his wife had never seen it, but knew because of 50 First Dates. It's that song from The Lonely Island, the I I jizzed in my pants.
Yeah.
Remember that song from SNL? And he's like, when Bruce Willis was dead at the end of The Sixth Sense, I jizzed in my pants.
Oh my God.
Better song, Jizz in My Pants or I'm on a Boat?
No.
I think I'm on a Boat.
No, I like that one from Step Brothers.
Oh, Boats and Hoes?
That's a classic, man. Oh my God. I like that movie a lot, dude. Me and my boys watch it and we just crack up every time we see it over and over again.
Locked On Spurs, Jeff Garcia asking the question, Joe, did you know Tia Carrera sang the main song in Batman, The Mask of the Phantasm?
That I actually did know that, man. I did know that. And Mask of the Phantasm is one of those underrated movies, man. It came out before all the hoopla, that is Warner Brothers animated films now. They caught a lot of steam, not recently, but over like the course of the last 10 years or so. But Mask of the Phantasm was one of those that people sleep on, but it's actually pretty damn good.
Very nice, very nice. Are we doing a show tomorrow?
Tomorrow, if you want, we could do the show, but if you want to take off, we could, because I'm going to be off Monday. I'm off Monday.
You're off on Monday. I knew you were coming. You were going to have a day off coming up, so you're off on Monday. I know we need to have guest hosts on Thursday and Friday of next week. See if we can get John Dyer and Fernandez out there. We might take the show on the road next week, Joe. I'm thinking about doing the show Wednesday on location. I know I'm just springing this on you, but we're looking at a potential sponsor. There is a cryotherapy center that I'm going to go visit on Tuesday, and they're going to give me treatments out there, and then they want to potentially pay for us to do the show over there. Cryotherapy is when you go in there and you
get in the frozen tank, man.
You do all that stuff. So this location is over on Bandera and 1604, so it just opened up. So I was invited to that. Go check it out.
Cool.
But Joe, I'm gonna let you go, man. Let's call it a show. Locked On Spurs, Jeff Garcia says, Mike, you stay away from Transformers 86. It's a free country, baby. I can do what I want to do.
Now you're gonna go watch it.
I've seen half of it.
They have it. I think a whole movie. I saw it the other day. It was playing on YouTube for free.
I've seen half of it. What I did see didn't suck as bad as I thought it was, and it had really good music. That's all I remember. Sam Flynn is saying, do the float, Mike. I've done the float before, man, but it's been about a year or so since I've done a float. That the bath water that's like 35 degrees or whatever.
Jeez.
Sith asking the question, Step Brothers or Ricky Bobby? Oh my God, that it's the same actors, right? I like Ricky Bobby better.
Step Brothers is hilarious, man. You remember that?
Step Brothers is great.
You remember when they went into the interview dressed in freaking tuxedos, and then that guy farted?
No, but I like the little kids on the Ballad of Ricky Bobby. When they're getting mad at the grandfather.
Yeah,
and they're talking shit to him, and then they start talking to the mom, Jane Lynch, and he's like, "You're gonna break us like Broncos."
Or they put him in the car with the cougar.
Yeah.
They put drugs underneath the car. They called the cops on him.
Yeah.
The dad.
He continuously says grace to praying to sweet baby Jesus.
Oh yeah.
He was a grown man. He had a beard.
Yeah, what does he say? 6 pound, 10 ounce baby Jesus with the curly hair and the little toes. Oh God, man.
What was that line? The field mouse is fast, but the owl can see at night.
That's some dumb stuff, man.
Some people are saying that I'm loopy. I'm actually hungover, is what it is, man. I had some Woodford Reserve last night, man.
That's good stuff.
So
man.
maybe I am loopy.
Yeah,
very nice.
The show though, man. We got to get ready here to hit it tomorrow, man.
All right, brother. Let's do it tomorrow. Spurs will recap tomorrow night's game. Spurs tonight will win. Spurs Nostradamus has spoken 102-95.
There you go. All right. We'll see you tomorrow, boys. We're out.
See ya.
Hey.